Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Emmerdale icon set for a return 2 decades after soap departure. One of the ITV soap's greatest villains is set to return to the village. Classic Emmerdale villainess Patsy Kensit is reportedly getting set to make a shock return to the long-running ITV soap 2 decades after her departure. The 58-year-old mum of 2 is said to be getting set to reprise her role as Sadie King later this year. The model and actress, who also enjoyed chart success in the 1980s with her band Eighth Wonder, originally appeared in the show from 2004 to 2006. Her character was the wife of Jimmy King, played by Nick Miles. In her biggest storyline, she had an intense affair with Kane Dingle, Jeff Hordley, as they conspired to kidnap her former father-in-law, Tom King Kenneth Farrington. However, Kane double-crossed her, escaping with the £2 million ransom and leaving her with nothing. For her efforts, she earned the Best B** award at the 2005 and 2006 Inside Soap Awards. She was also nominated for Sexiest Female at the 2006 British Soap Awards. This signing has been kept a top secret as bosses want Patsy's return to shock fans, a source told The Sun. She is apparently delighted to get her teeth back into the meaty role. Scriptwriters want to keep the show going with explosive plots and divisive characters. Express.co.uk have contacted representatives for Emmerdale and Kensit for comment. Should she return, the show will look very different to her first tenure. ITV has implemented numerous cutbacks in the past 12 months, slashing the number of episodes for Emmerdale and Coronation Street. The village had changed, though no one who lived there would ever admit it out loud. Time in Emmerdale didn't move in straight lines. It curled, lingered, and sometimes snapped back on itself like a loose wire. The fields still rolled out in patient greens, the pub still hummed with secrets, and the narrow lanes still remembered every footstep ever taken upon them. But something was different now. Something was coming. It began, as these things often did, with a letter. Not an email. Not a message. A letter, creased, deliberate, and unmistakably old-fashioned, slipped beneath the door of the Woolpack before dawn. No stamp anyone recognized. No return address. Just a name written in sharp, elegant handwriting that seemed to cut into the paper itself. At first, no one wanted to say it aloud. Then someone did. And everything shifted. Because that name belonged to a ghost. 20 years had passed since the village last felt the full weight of that presence. A figure whose shadow had stretched across every home, every heart, every fragile alliance. Back then, they hadn't just caused trouble. They had rewritten the rules of it. Manipulation wasn't a tactic. It was an art form. Trust wasn't broken. It was dismantled piece by piece, until no one could remember what it felt like to have it at all. People still told stories. Quiet ones. Careful ones. The kind that ended with a glance over the shoulder and a quick change of subject. And now, somehow impossibly, they were coming back. At first, it was dismissed. A cruel joke, someone said. A tasteless prank. The sort of thing bored people do when they want to stir up old wounds. But then came the second sign. And the third. A familiar melody drifting from nowhere, played on a piano no one owned. A photograph left on a windowsill, one that hadn't existed for years. A voice, overheard in the distance, laughing softly where no one stood. The village didn't panic. Not openly. But doors began to lock earlier. Conversations grew shorter. Eyes lingered longer on strangers, and even longer on friends. Because the worst part wasn't the memory of what this person had done. It was the memory of how easily they had done it. The first sighting came on a Tuesday afternoon. A figure at the far edge of the fields, standing still against the wind. Too far to make out clearly, but unmistakable in posture, poised, deliberate, watching. By the time anyone reached the spot, they were gone. But they had been there. And that was enough. In the days that followed, the past began to bleed into the present. Old rivalries resurfaced, sharpened by suspicion. Long-buried secrets felt suddenly less secure, as though someone had unearthed them and was turning them over in their hands, deciding which one to use first. Because that was always the way with them. They didn't just attack. They curated. Every word, every move, every silence, chosen with precision. The village had spent 2 decades healing, rebuilding, convincing itself that those years were behind them. But now it felt as though all that time had been nothing more than an intermission. And the show was starting again. Then came the confirmation. No shadows. No rumors. No half-glimpsed figures in the distance. Just a door opening. And them standing there. Older, yes, but not diminished. If anything, time had refined them, sharpened the edges that had once made them so dangerous. Their smile was the same, calm, knowing, just a fraction too slow to be friendly. "I suppose you've all been wondering," they said lightly, stepping inside as though they had never left. No one moved. No one spoke. Because there are moments when the past doesn't just return. It takes its place as though it had been waiting all along. Reactions rippled through the village like shockwaves. Some were furious. How dare they come back after everything? After all the damage, all the chaos, all the lives left in pieces? Others were afraid, though they would never admit it. Fear doesn't always look like trembling or tears. Sometimes it looks like silence, like avoiding eye contact, like pretending not to notice the way your hands shake when you hear a familiar voice again. And then there were those who were curious, because for all the pain, for all the destruction, there had always been something magnetic about them. A pull that people didn't understand and couldn't quite resist. That was their real power. Not just what they did, but how they made people feel while they were doing it. "I'm not here to cause trouble," they said days later, standing in the center of the village as a small crowd gathered at a cautious distance. It might have been convincing, if anyone had believed a word they said. A few people laughed, sharp, disbelieving. Others turned away. But no one stepped forward. No one challenged them directly. Because everyone knew how that would end. Instead, the village watched, waited, held its breath.